What's up, guys? After last video going through the new NZXT BLD Starter PC series, I wanted to do a deeper dive into the budget pre-built gaming PC market and really compare the NZXT Starter to some other competitors. So to get started, let's just do a quick review of the NZXT BLD Starter PC. So the full series consists of the Starter, the Plus, and the Pro. We're really just focusing on the true budget mindset PC, which is the $699 Starter PC. So let's dig into the details and go into the specs of the Starter PC. So as I went over in the last video, it's an i3-9100F, 4-core, 4-thread, no hyper-threading on the CPU, non-overclockable as it's not a K SKU from Intel. You're also getting a GTX 1650, so pretty much the bottom line for NVIDIA graphics card right now. You're also getting a single DIMM of 8 gigabytes of 3000 megahertz RAM, so not the best situation there in terms of performance using single channel, only one stick of RAM. And then you're getting a 512 gigabyte M.2 SSD from Intel. And of course, with all of these starter PCs, you're getting an NZXT H510 case, that pure real, gaming aesthetic that a lot of enthusiasts and people building their own computers are using that case. You're getting a B365 motherboard. So this is the budget end of Intel motherboards for the 9th gen chips. Non-overclockable, not the greatest VRM. With the CPUs that they're putting in these systems, the i3 and the i5, it's not really a big deal, but if you ever did want to upgrade down the line, these motherboards aren't the best to support some higher end chips. You're also getting a deep cool air cooler, and then for the starter, you're getting a 450 watt power supply, which would let you upgrade your GPU a little bit down the line. And then you get Wi-Fi and all of that included, and 2-year warranty on parts and labor from NZXT. So overall, not the greatest specs when it comes to pure performance, but when you're looking at budget pre-builts, this is really the only option to stay away from like the proprietary OEM style design and really go with something that's using enthusiast consumer grade hardware that could be upgraded and changed down the line. But let's get into the two competitor pre-builts that I really see challenging the NZXT Starter PC at that $699 budget. So starting off, let's take a look at the HP Pavilion gaming desktop. So this was originally $799, but they have it marked down right now to $699, so right in line with that Starter PC price range. And if we take a look at just the look of the computer, it honestly doesn't look that bad for just being an HP Pavilion desktop. You also get some really nice front I/O, SD card slot, a few USB type A's. So overall, really, really nice. The look really isn't that bad. But again, it's going to be a proprietary case, most likely a proprietary motherboard. The connectors might also be proprietary. So it's probably not going to be the easiest to upgrade down the line, but you will still be able to upgrade your graphics card and your CPU. And being that we're now using Intel 10th gen processors, it's much more current and you can still upgrade to some future chips. Whereas with the NZXT Starter PC, it's using last gen Intel chips, which are already pretty much dead on arrival, considering Intel has already replaced the LGA 1151 socket with the LGA 1200 with 10th gen CPUs. You're kind of sort of stuck with using 9th gen chips. But let's take a deeper dive into the specs of the HP. So starting off, just base the $699 model, you're getting a Core i5 10400, so 6 cores and 12 threads, which is a huge, huge upgrade over the i3 in the Starter PC. It's even an upgrade over the Starter Plus and the Starter Pro, being that those are i5 9th gens and they're limited to 6 cores and 6 threads with no hyper-threading. So this is a really nice improvement at the $699 budget. But let's go a little bit deeper. So now you're getting 8 gigs of RAM, but this time it's running in dual channel. So you get 2 4 gig DIMMs instead of a single 8 gig DIMM, which is honestly probably the better option. It might be a little bit more costly to upgrade down the line, considering you don't just have to buy a single DIMM, you're gonna have to buy 2 to replace the 2 that are in the system. But overall, the performance is gonna be a lot better using 2 sticks of RAM running in dual channel versus running in single channel. Going into storage, so now we're dealing with a 256 gig SSD, not M.2 or anything like that, just a regular SATA SSD. For 40 bucks, you can upgrade that to 512, so that would match the 512 in the NZXT. However, it's still not M.2, so it's not going to be as fast as the NZXT system, but it'll still be plenty fast. It'll be hard to notice the difference between a SATA SSD and an M.2 in real-world applications. And then getting into the graphics card. So we're dealing with the exact same graphics card, a GTX 1650. However, the upgrade options for the graphics cards aren't the best. I mean, spending an extra $80 on a GTX 1650 Super, I probably wouldn't do it. If you're going to spend the money, probably go for a 1660 for the extra 30 bucks, or the 1660 Ti for the extra 190. So upgrading to the 1660 Ti in this HP gaming rig is going to bring your total up to around that $900 price point, which is right in line with the NZXT Starter PC Plus, but it gives you the same graphics card in the Pro, which is retailing for $1,000. So that option is really, really nice as well. However, we're only dealing with a 310 watt power supply out of the box, which is plenty for a 1650 and the i5, but if you wanted to upgrade down the line to anything a little bit more power hungry, you're probably better off upgrading for the $30 to the 400 watt PSU. It looks like you also may need to upgrade for $10 to get Wi-Fi. Honestly, not a big deal. So for 10 bucks, you can upgrade the system to Wi-Fi 6 to the most up-to-date standard in Wi-Fi, which should give you really, really nice network speeds. And in terms of the warranty, let's see if we can find some information on that. And as we can see, the warranty is limited to a 1-year limited hardware warranty, which should do most of us just fine. But if you wanted to upgrade that warranty to a longer term or a more inclusive protection plan, like one with accidental damage, it's going to cost you around $130 to $120. So that's really up to you if you want that extra protection, that extra warranty on the system. But overall, comparable to NZXT, but NZXT is really probably the best when it comes to the warranty feature. But sticking with the $699 budget, this is a really, really good alternative to the NZXT Starter PC. But let's go to our third option and see what Dell has to offer with the G5 gaming desktop. So this time, the Dell G5, just looking at the overall aesthetics of the case, the PC in general. So if you take a look, it's got a glass side panel, it's got some RGB, honestly looks really, really good from the outside. You even get some front USB, I believe a USB Type-C on the front as well. Then of course your microphone and headphone jack. But overall, a pretty nice looking case from Dell, but it's going to be the same situation most likely as HP, some proprietary components that you're not going to be able to easily swap out in the future, but you can still, of course, upgrade your GPU and your CPU. But going into the specs, out of the box, exactly at that $699 budget, we're looking at a i3 again. So an i3 similar to the NZXT Starter PC, however, this time a 10th gen versus the 9th gen CPU. So now we're looking at a hyper-threaded version. So 4-core, 8-thread, which is much, much better than the 4-core, 4-thread, 9th gen CPU in the NZXT Starter PC. The hyper-threading will definitely add some performance to your system. So that is a really, really nice option. And then if you wanted to upgrade to the i5, similar to the HP, it's going to cost you an extra $100. So that really puts you at that starting point for the HP prior to the sale, bringing it down to $699. But the i3 should honestly be plenty for 1080p 60 FPS gaming and possibly even higher in a lot of titles like Fortnite and Valorant. You should see FPS probably around 100 to 144, depending on what settings you're putting in game. So if you drop the settings, you're definitely going to see well over 100 FPS in those kinds of titles. But coming down to the GPU, so this is where the Dell really shines. So you're starting off with a 1650 Super, so you're getting better performance graphics-wise right out of the box. And for 50 bucks, only $50, you can upgrade to a 1660 Super. So that brings you to the NZXT Starter PC Plus level of performance for $750 versus $900. So that's honestly pretty crazy. That's a really, really awesome deal from Dell. And even to a 1660 Ti, it's only costing you an extra 50 bucks over the 1660 Super and would only bring the system total to $799. So taking a deeper dive into the specs, so you're getting an 8 gig DIMM So a single DIMM, you're running in single channel, yet again, similar to the NZXT Starter PC, but you're getting better components out of the box. If you wanted to upgrade it to 16 gigs, definitely go for the dual channel option. So those 2 by 8 gig sticks, which will increase the price by $100. So that will be a trade-off, of course. But if you upgrade to the 1660 Super, throw in the 16 gigs of RAM, you're only upping the price by $150, bringing the total to $850, which is right in line with the NZXT Starter PC Plus and Starter PC Pro. Taking a look at storage, this is where the Dell really takes a hit. So what's included at the $699 price point is a 1 terabyte hard drive. So you're dealing with 7,200 RPM, 3.5-inch drive. It's really gonna slow the system down. It's gonna make it feel old. It's gonna make it feel slow. So this is definitely where you should probably spend the extra money to upgrade to an SSD. So for $80, you can upgrade it to a 512 gigabyte NVMe drive, right in line with the NZXT Starter. So it might bring the price up a tad to like $775, but it's definitely worth the money. You're definitely gonna see a really nice usability improvement. It's not gonna increase performance in game, but it will definitely make load times go down. The overall system is gonna feel a lot more snappy. And then out of the box, you're getting a 360 watt power supply. So a little bit higher than that HP right out of the box, but for $20, you can upgrade that to a 500 watt power supply, which will let you upgrade the GPU down the line to a higher wattage chip, a higher performing card. So that is really, really nice. And of course, for the warranty, you're getting 1 year warranty. So it's a little bit less than that 2 year from NZXT, but you're still getting the support from Dell. So now that we've gone through all 3 of the systems, I'm gonna have to go with the Dell as my top choice, just based on pure performance, pure specs out of the box. The NZXT Starter PC is honestly probably the worst when it comes to specs and overall performance level at the $699 budget. But you get some really, really nice features that you might not get with these other options, like the 2 year warranty, like the pure gaming aesthetic that you get with the NZXT H510 case, a higher wattage power supply. You're getting some better options with that system. If we come to the HP, you're getting a pretty nice case from HP, but again, with the HP and the Dell, they're both going to be proprietary solutions. But now you're getting a 6-core 12-thread i5. You're still getting a GTX 1650. You're getting dual channel memory with those 2 4 gig DIMMs, but you are lacking a little bit on the SSD and some of the other features. And then when we come to the Dell, so the Dell, again, probably my choice based on the price and based on the level of performance that you're getting, as well as the upgradability options right out of the box. So with the i3, you're getting 4 cores, 8 threads, definitely better than the NZXT Starter PC, a little bit lower down than the HP, but you're getting a GTX 1650 Super, which should see some nice percentage improvement in terms of FPS in game. And for $50, only $50, you can upgrade that to a 1660 Super, which is an awesome, awesome deal. And again, similar to the NZXT Starter PC, single channel memory, not the best, but overall the system is really, really good. The one thing that's really holding it back is that 1 terabyte hard drive. So for the extra money, I'd probably go with the SSD, or if you just want to buy like a cheap 128 or 240 gig SSD off of Amazon and install it yourself and download Windows on there, that is always an option as well. And it'll only run you probably like $25 to $30 for one of those SSDs. So there we have it. Honestly, the Dell is probably my choice, but depending on what you're looking for in a system, whether it's looks, whether it's upgradability down the line, the Dell might not be the best option. The NZXT is probably the best when it comes to those things, the looks and the overall upgradability down the line. But when it comes to pure performance, pure specs, the Dell definitely wins it on this one. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Any questions, any comments about any of these systems, what to look for when you're getting a pre-built system, leave those in the comments below. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, definitely get subscribed. We have a video coming out next, which is going to be turning an old HP Pavilion from a couple years ago with an i5 7400 and adding a GTX 1660 Super, a new power supply, possibly some RAM as well. So definitely stay tuned for that to see the best budget option when it comes to gaming PCs.